My concern about Ted Cruz is not just that, as Donald Trump says, he lies at the drop of the hat. He does that. And obviously, he's a believer in this doctrine of the divine lie, that the ends justify the means, that if you have to lie to accomplish a positive good that is greater than the lie itself, then go ahead and do it. Because Ted Cruz lies a lot. And it's not just that Ted Cruz has all these right-wing, Tea Party positions and all this kind of stuff. It's that he is the Christian equivalent, in my opinion. And this is one of those areas where I think probably Bill Maher would agree with me. He is the Christian equivalent of the Taliban. We're having a serious conversation in the United States right now, our media is, about electing as president of the United States a man who is the Christian version of the Taliban. And nobody's talking about it in the media. I mean, Trump has finally gotten so over the top that they're starting to make Hitler analogies, and I think it's probably starting to hurt Trump a little bit, or Drumpf, I guess is his original family name, but whatever. My original family name was Sorensen. Who am I to make fun of people? But, before my father's family came over from Norway. But the point is that here's this guy who doesn't just believe in this stuff and doesn't just preach it, but is, seriously talking about being anointed by his father and a group of evangelical pastors in this large mega church in front of thousands of people to be the king of America on behalf of God, to redistribute wealth to the Gentiles, which I don't know for sure, but sure sounds to me like code for we're going to take money away from all those rich Jews, which is playing into one of those god-awful stereotypes that fundamentalist Christians are so fond of. And I think there was even a variation on this in the debate the other day where Ted Cruz, I'm pretty sure it was the debate, Ted Cruz made a comment about because he's a Christian, he's being audited. What, all the auditors are Jewish? Oh, yeah, everybody knows that, right? I mean, the anti-Semitism, this is dangerous stuff that we are playing with here in this country. It's dangerous stuff. It's not a road that we need to be going down. You may think that Bernie Sanders is offering rainbows and unicorns and he'll never get anything he wants done through Congress, or you may think that Hillary Clinton is too corporate for you or whatever, and too cozy with the banks. These are the main hits on both of them. But I'm telling you, either one of them. Let me rephrase that. Neither one of them are going to go into the White House and say, God put me here to rule this country as a king based on biblical principles. It ain't going to happen. But if Ted Cruz is our president, that's exactly what's going to happen. And it's going to get far worse than it was under George W. Bush. George W. Bush, his first contribution in politics outside of 1977, losing an election for the House of Representatives from Texas on the single issue of wanting to privatize Social Security, his major second foray into politics happened in the 1980s. In the 1980 election, George W. Bush was Ronald Reagan's ambassador to the fundamentalist Christians. Because by that point in time, he'd quit drinking and become a born-again Christian. And he did that for Reagan. He did that for his father, who was very, I think to his credit, but it's probably just the way he was raised as a Presbyterian or Congregationalist, a WASP, a northern New England white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. Typically, they don't talk that much about religion. And George Herbert Walker Bush never talked that much about a religion. But his son sure did. And his son brought in all the fundamentalists saying, you know, my dad's not going to talk about this out loud because it'll hurt him in the election, but here's who he really is. He's going to give you money. And he did. He gave Jerry Falwell, and he gave and we're talking billions of dollars, not just a few, not the $100 million that Mike Lee from Utah wants to prevent the Senate from sending to Flint, Michigan to replace the water pipes. We're not talking about just $100 million. We're talking about tens of thousands of millions of dollars, billions, tens of billions of dollars. That George W. Bush started this thing, and now Ted Cruz wants to pick up this mantle and run with it full speed, full tilt boogie. Are you kidding me? This is dangerous stuff.